hitting record. It's going. Alright, solid. Oh, sick. Nice, nice. Perfect. Thank you. Alright, see ya. Hey, everybody. Let's see here. I'm just getting my laptop all queued up here. One sec. Stokemeter.com. This is pretty fun. I love doing this. It's a little crazy though, doing it in the middle of the day. It's super busy right now. Okay, let's see here. Scott Clark. Okay, solid. Can everybody hear me all right? Okay. All right, everybody. I am going to take you into our little front room. Well, it's not our front room. It's actually, we're upstairs right now. In our little conference area. We pulled the table out though. Let me go grab a chair to put my computer on real fast. Oh. Okay. Uh-oh. Here we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, this isn't going to be like a normal classic kind of Stokemeter situation. I'm just going to do a quick buzz through of some of our new 2010 stuff, just to kind of give everybody a quick idea of what we got going on. I got a couple bags full of gear here. Oh, what up? We're live. Stokemeter.
Stokemeter world.
There's Mr. Colby Shelton himself. What up, dude? But I've got basically some bags full of stuff I'm going to pop open here real quick. And just kind of buzz through everything here. One sec. Findings. I'm going to pull. Let's see here. Let's see. Pull like a handle. I think those boards should be in there too. I think it was. Yeah, we got recruits, services. Got those out? Or no, baby. Let me, Alright. Sorry, everybody. One sec.
Nicholas board, for everybody who hasn't seen it.
Super sick. Alright. Caught us during lunchtime, taco time. All right, so basically, I'm just going to buzz you through our 2010 binding program. Let's see here. I wish I had like a wide angle or something. I need to figure out how to hook up my video camera to this. But I don't know how much of everybody's heard out there already, but we've pretty much re-engineered our binding program from the ground up. What's up? You guys all good? Oh, yeah, thanks. And we did this for a couple reasons. We were really stoked, and still are stoked, on what the 4-hole pattern was able to offer us as far as lockdown, heel and toe lift, all that kind of stuff. But we were also trying to figure out how to make things a little bit more easy to understand. We felt it was a little tricky to have to go through your binding to mount your board up, all that kind of stuff. So we basically went to our crew and said, hey, you know, is there any way that we can still utilize the hole pattern that everybody else is using, the new 6-inch hole pattern, and get that same lockdown, heel and toe, get rid of the hardware underneath your feet, and give you a little bit more opportunity to kind of move your binding around as well, because that's something that I think overall has been the same for years, regardless of if you're using the 4-hole or the single hole pattern. You're just kind of like, you got to either just go left or right, and that's it. And so our crew went down and came back with this idea, and early on when they came back to us with this idea, we were all kind of like, holy smokes, man, this could really work. But we didn't really know how it all kind of pan out. And the more we dug into it, the more we realized that we were onto something, and our crew was really onto something. And then, needless to say, the way it all turned out is pretty brain-meltingly awesome, and we're super excited about it, and that's what I want to show you. So it all bases off of this chassis that the boot is built on. Like what we're looking at right here is Randall's new binding for 2010. We've got 3 different bindings. We've got our open toe lace, closed toe Velcro, which is Randall, and closed toe lace, which is our Pro boot. And basically, the entire system is based off of this this chassis, this outer chassis. Sorry, I'm trying to get this all squared up here. And if you look here, basically it's just this outer chassis right here that that basically kind of, you know, the uppers are basically built onto, and then we've got this bridge plate that's right here as well that kind of, I'll go into detail why everything's here in a minute. But basically that's kind of where it all started. And as you can see, like, dude, the uppers, you know, on Randall's boot here just look insane. They look super good. But I'm trying to think of like the best and smoothest way to explain this to you. If you look at our little system here, it's crazy simple. You've got this chassis that basically has this little channel here that these little mini clamps just pop into. They just go and they hook onto here. And the same thing happens on this side. It just hooks onto here. And what that does, these clamps are actually as wide as the 4-hole pattern. It's about an inch, 3/4 of an inch. And so as far as the leverage is concerned, we're basically covering that same amount of range that the 4-hole pattern is. And this is all aircraft grade aluminum. And same with these little channels here. These channels are actually all aircraft grade aluminum. So on top of the fact that we're locking it down with a clamp that is as wide as the 4-hole, we've got these aluminum little parts right here that basically, I mean, dude, heel to toe, you are just crazy locked down. Like, it's nuts. We've done quite a bit of homework on trying to get this figured out, especially our engineers, and basically the way they got this figured out was pretty awesome. And sorry, I'm just so excited about this. I'm kind of stumbling over my words here, but it's and it's pretty beautiful how the whole system works, because I don't know if you can even really see, I've got this light behind me, but on these little clamps here, they've got like this little they've got like these little registered little situations here, so like when you actually are screwing the clamp down onto the board, it'll still lift up high enough so that the teeth won't totally grip into the channel until you actually screw it down, so it totally completely glides back and forth until you actually lock it in. Let me just pull out Severance 34 here, Tino. I'm going to get this dialed here. So if you see, let's just put the Pro Boot on here. I'll just show you how easy this is. Some of you have maybe already seen little videos online and all that kind of stuff, but it's as simple as this. Basically just pop your binding down. Let me get this squared up here. Sorry dude, I'm kind of ghetto rigging this with the laptop. Basically you get your binding kind of in the general spot you want it. What's that? Oh, it's all good. I think I got it here. Yeah, we might need to... Would you mind actually holding this up above the boot so they can see a little better? There you go. Yep.
Yeah, there?
Yep, just so it's like right. Okay, so in a nutshell, you basically just kind of place your boot where you want it, grab these clamps, pop one down, done. Take your screws, just kind of set your mark here, give it a couple twists. You don't want to lock it all the way down yet. Give it a couple twists just to get it in there, just so it's on. And then boom, you can just kind of, here, scoot back just a little bit. There you go. You can just glide it around, front, back, left, right, wherever you want it, dude. It's pretty awesome. And then once you kind of get it locked and loaded, you just tighten until you get it all locked in. Now, the thing that's really cool about this is the fact that not only is it fast, but like I was saying before, the lockdown heel to toe is unlike anything else I've seen. Like I was mentioning before, this whole this aluminum channel right here, along with this complete and total chassis. I mean, it just, dude, it's crazy locked. I mean, you're not going anywhere. You can't move it. Heel to toe is just super ultra locked in. Let me see here. But let me see here. Sorry, I'm just kind of going as I go. Let me see if I can answer some questions here. Questions. Liquid plate. Okay. They are on a 6-inch hull pattern. Yep. Okay, cool. Looks like we're straight. But yeah, so anyways, it's a really cool and smooth working system that we're going to be running on all of our bindings next year. We're going to have 3 bindings, like I mentioned before. It's the open toe lace, the closed toe Velcro, which is the Randall boot, the Vandal boot, and the Pro Boot, which is a closed toe lace. And just some of the features, for example, if you can see, I don't know how well you can see through this whole little iChat situation video camera, but it's essentially a baseless binding. You've got no hardware under your feet. It's just pretty much your standard type of situation where you're literally standing on the board. You've got just rubber in between your feet and the board. But at the same time too, we didn't want to go completely baseless because what we learned is when you're dealing just with this outer chassis, especially with the hard impact landings and all that kind of stuff, like your chassis wants to expand and kind of move around on you, and so that's kind of why we put this little transfer bridge situation going on here. It kind of helps keep the chassis from wanting to expand, especially when guys like Randall are punting it out into the flats, you know. And but overall, just the strength of the chassis is second to none. And let me pull this liner out for you so you can see what it looks like from the inside. So you can see that basically it's just straight. I mean, this is the only thing that's in between you is the rubber of the inside of your boot. So you're pretty much standing on your board, and as far as the flex of the board is concerned, this chassis left to right still has enough flex so that the board will flex true underneath your feet, reducing the overall footprint of the binding as well, which we're super excited about. I mean, that was something that we really liked about the 4-hole when we were using it, is the overall footprint of the binding was minimal, and that is a beautiful thing, especially as it relates to trying to keep the flex pattern of the board, you know, moving and flexing true and as consistent as possible. Again, like I've mentioned before, we don't see ourselves as a flex board company, but at the same time too, we see flex as a very powerful feature that can be utilized in a lot of different ways. I mean, if you look at Randall and Nicola's new boards, they're definitely more of a traditional style setup as far as flex is concerned, but it doesn't matter. I mean, even some of the stiffest boards out there, if you slow the footage down, if you're shooting video and doing some crazy video analysis types of stuff, you'll see that the board still flexes tip to tip, torsionally, the whole deal. It's just what it is. So we're working with it as far as working against it as it relates to our bindings. Let me see here.
Jared wanted to explain the difference between Euro thing and Europe.
Who?
Jared, I think.
Jared? Jared or Jarrett?
Jared.
Biz?
Biz. I think that's Jared.
Let's see here. Sam Adams is late for class. Let's see here. What is urethane and urethane? Okay, so I'm going to be careful here because I am not fully, completely educated on what other brands are doing. What I do know is that on Randall and Nicola's boards this year for us, we're using legit 95A durometer urethane sidewalls, which is pretty much the best of the best, and it's extremely legit as it relates to urethane. It's like the same type of material that's, I mean, there's different types of durometers as it relates to urethane. Like skateboard wheels, look at skateboard wheels. You got different types of hardness and softness, you know, as far as skateboard wheels are concerned. And we're using what we're using for the sake of being able to help absorb impact. I mean, these things, especially like with Nicola, she's riding cable a lot and banging her board up pretty good on rails and all that kind of stuff, and the urethane takes a beating. It almost kind of pushes back as opposed to taking the impact. It's like, you know, the ABS type of material is awesome because it takes a good hit, and it's also shapeable. You can go in there and fix it and repair it. Whereas the urethane, I mean, you could bang these things up pretty good and you won't even see a nick on your sidewall. In fact, I wonder if there's, I don't know if you can even hear it, but let me see if, let's get here as close as we can. Like, this is Nicola's sidewall. It's basically, it's almost like a rubbery type of feeling. You know what I mean? It's not like a super bangy type of something that you could hit against the wall and it takes a dent. It's like it actually kind of pushes back. It's pretty sick. But anyways, we're using it because it helps prevent wear and tear in a huge way, and it also helps dampen your ride up and reduce chatter and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty sick. We're super stoked about it. And there are a lot of other brands that are kind of digging in, but it's to my knowledge that they're not using the legit urethane, but I don't know. Don't take my word for that. I think they're using other types of materials and plastics that have similar properties, but it's not the real deal, I don't think. You'd have to ask them. Can you show us a new Vandal board compared to the Recruit? Let's see here. The Recruit. Here is the new Recruit. Basically, I'm getting a little off track here because I said I was only going to talk about bindings today. But I'm stoked to show you guys. This is fun. Basically, here is the new Recruit. It's a similar situation compared to last year. We modified the core. We brought the wood out farther into the tip and tail to kind of give it a little bit of extra snap and liveliness. We also kind of beefed up the insert packs based on our new plate system, because there is well, last year we had a few issues with inserts pulling when other people were using their plates and their bindings on our boards, so we tightened the ship with that stuff as well. So the board overall just is tightened up quite a bit. It's a little bit, I would say it is a little bit stiffer, especially torsionally with this new layup that we're kind of running with, but for the most part it's going to ride very similar to what everybody fell in love with last year as far as the Recruit goes. So here you go. This is, again, the new Recruit. I don't know if you can totally see it. And Randall. Let's see here. This is Randall's board. It's got the urethane situation going on. All the way around. But it's definitely it's a little bit thicker than the Recruit. It's pretty locked up between your feet as far as flex is concerned, but it softens up just a little bit into the tips. This board is coming in at well, it depends on which size it is, because Randall rides the 144, which is the biggest board we make, and that board was coming in right at around 8 pounds. And that's our biggest board. And then as it comes down into the 140 and the 136, we're in the 7.5 and 7 pound range. And Nicola's board as well actually is coming in less than that. We're closer to 6 and 6.5 pounds with Nicola's board. Something that's cool about Randall's board as well, I could easily Dude, I could easily jump into like a full clinic here, so I gotta be careful. I gotta be quick. But like as far as Randall's board goes, something that's pretty sick is it's got this stringer system that basically, let me step back so you can see here. Don't know what? Oh, it's all good. It's got this stringer system that basically, it's not just straight down or like right down the center. It curves like this. We're calling it the arc. And basically, it's this arced stringer that essentially is there for two reasons. One, for torsional stiffness, and two, to be able to direct the energy straight into the rails of the board. Like when you're standing on your board and you're pushing that energy heel to toe, that energy is going straight into that. Here, sorry guys. I'm like sitting here talking, but I don't know if you can even see what I'm talking about. It's kind of crazy trying to figure out how to film yourself do this. There, you can kind of even see it. Kind of see it. But anyways, so you got your binding on here, right? And you're driving that energy toe to heel. Well, because this stringer is set up to exit out into the rails, that energy is just pushing straight into your contact points on the water, just like boom. You got guys like Randall himself who ride their rails of, not actual rails, but ride the rails of the board pretty heavily, and there's a lot of energy that basically gets directed into the rails of the board, and we wanted to make sure that that information and that energy was going straight from your feet and your legs right into the board and into the rails, so that you can get this board to move exactly how you want it to move and when you want it to move. It's actually pretty sick, man, and it's been hugely effective. Randall's crazy stoked on it, and we're going to continue to explore it. We've got a bunch of different versions of ways we've laid up that whole arc system, and we're running with right now what we think is the best option, but it's pretty untapped still. It's something that we're kind of elaborating on every day here. So let me dig in and see if there are any other questions here. When will the 2010 products be available? We're shooting for holiday, so we're gonna have stuff trickling out here and there, starting in October, November, but mainly holiday, like going into Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that kind of stuff. Is the Vandal board an aggressive continuous rocker? Yes, it is. It's not a 3-stage. It's continuous. It's pretty aggressive. It's right at 3 inches pretty much on the 144, so it's pretty steep. It's fast though. It's money. Let's see here. Man, we got 137 viewers. That's pretty awesome. Okay, hit me with any more questions you have about the bindings. I kind of have been all over the place. It's in the middle of the day, and so I'm a little scatterbrained right now. But I thought this would be a really good opportunity to at least, just kind of let everybody get a quick peek. In fact, taking off my boots. Again, this is Randall's binding. I've got the liner pulled out of here, so you can kind of see how it all looks and works. This binding's sick, man. Pro boot, closed toe lace. A little Velcro hit for style points here. Dual zone lace set up. Our new lace locks are money. We've got these little clips here that it's not super ingenious style, but at the same time too, you're not limited to just clipping it in one spot. You can kind of clip it wherever you want. It's pretty cool. All the liners are heat moldable. The liners do not just come out the same way our bindings did this year. You can lock them in. There's a little screw that kind of locks in air under the bottom, but if you want to be able to pull them out, you just unscrew that little screw, and they pop out, piece of cake. And then our open toe lace. This binding turned out super good as well. See. Let's see here. More questions. What were the size ranges? What are the size ranges? Randall board is 136, 140, and 144. Nicola's board is a 131 and a 134. The Severance and Recruit series boards are going to be the same size as they were last year. Severance series is 134, 138, 142. The Recruit series will be 135, 139, and 143. So here's Nicola's board again. Oh my gosh. Almost just took the laptop out.
And then the size ranges for the boots.
Oh, size ranges for the boots. Basically, the closed toe, Pro Boot, and Vandal boot, Velcro, are going to come in size 5 through 13. And then the open toe situation, it's not going to be like a full size run. It'll be like 5 through 8, 7 through 10, 9 through 11, 10 through 13 kind of situation. Kind of covers, there's a little bit of overlapping going on there. So let me just buzz through here and make sure I've kind of covered everything. Should we show them the vests too real quick? Let's just drop in and show everybody everything. I don't even care. My food's getting cold. This is awesome. This is way too fun. What's that? Oh yeah. Check this out. This is the new Severance graphic, Tino. Super sick.
Trusty model with that. Take your shirt off and model his head.
Yeah.
Asking like the stiffness on the boots.
The stiffness on the boots?
Yeah, and the bindings, like how stiff are they?
Okay, so that's a really good question. Believe it or not, let me start with Randall's boot. Believe it or not, you would think that somebody like Randall would want something crazy, locked down, stiff, and super tight just because of how big he goes and how hard he rides. But it's the total opposite. Like, he actually likes his boots to be a little softer, lower cut. He likes to be able to move around and tweak, the board and do all that kind of stuff. And so his binding is actually going to be kind of a medium stiffness. It won't be super gnarly, but it's going to be softer than the Pro Boot. Whereas the Pro Boot is probably going to be our stiffest boot. It's a little bit higher cut as well. But I would say, compared to this year, if you rode our bindings this year, I would say they're going to be, our bindings out of the box this year were pretty stiff, and I think it's safe to say that our stiffest boot would be the Pro Boot, and it would be pretty close to as stiff as our boots were out of the box this year, but maybe not as much because they're a little bit more cushiony and plushy. There's just more padding, more juice. It's pretty cool too. You got the articulated cuff here where this binding can actually, let me see here. And if you see here, the lighting is not that great in here right now, but this whole upper just can just roll. So it's got a pretty good flex as far as the upper is concerned, even though it's a little taller than our other boots. But yeah, you're not going to be walking around in ski boots, that's for sure. They're not going to be super gnarly stiff. Let's see here. Do you do the board art yourself? No. We've got some really great designers. This year, a good friend of ours, Travis Topham, designed Randall's graphic. A good friend of ours, Alex Rinker, designed Nicola Butler's graphic specifically. He's also the guy that designed our logo and all that kind of stuff early on. And he also inspired the Severance graphic, the Tino/Severance graphic, in a huge way. And Tav, our in-house designer, kind of dove in on some of that stuff as well, and then Tav designed the Recruit series. So there's a little splash of everybody throughout the entire line, not just one person doing everything. Let's see here. We got a CGA vest this year. I'm going to buzz through these real quick. CGA. This is the new Pro vest. It's got additional flotation here in the center and in the back center. Pretty sick. Nicola's vest. Pretty sick. It matches her board perfectly. And she's got a rope and handle as well that matches everything. So it's just, Nicola's line turned out so good, man. Then we've got this new vest as well this year. We're calling it the Switch vest. It's in large, similar to the cut of our co-vest, but we modified it a little bit and we made it reversible. So we got it this way, or we got it this way. It's got a pretty sick little pattern going on, so you can roll it either way. So just lots of stuff, man. We could I could go on forever, man. This stuff is, I love this. Does anybody have any questions though, that I could answer real quick?
How big of a role is Eric Schmaltz going to have?
Wait, what? How big of a role is Eric Schmaltz going to have? Well, number one, Schmaltz is one of my heroes, so he can have as big of a role as he wants. He's pretty much the guy he just knows his stuff, and he's in large a huge part behind why Randall and Nicola's boards turned out so amazing. He currently is building their boards and has engineered their boards as well, and is a magician behind the scenes. He's not that much of a in the spotlight kind of guy. That's my impression, but the stuff he makes happen, and the amount of things that he's been able to make happen in a short amount of time as well has been amazing. He's going to be heavily involved from here on out as far as our business is concerned. I can't really say to what extent, just because that's more technical business stuff, but he's we plan on growing this relationship with him in a huge way now and into the future. It's been a beautiful thing, and I couldn't be more stoked about where it's going. Let's see here. How big of a role? Can I buy a Vandal board by Christmas? Yes. It'll be available by Christmas, but you have to be good. That was really cheesy. Do you find a lot of people tune their rails, or do you think most people ride them stock? What's your preference? What's the preference of your riders? That's a really good question. I don't think that many people really do tune their rails. You're able to, but I don't really know how many people do it. I know some of our guys kind of like to soften the rails up a little bit in between your feet, more towards the belly of the board. Kind of helps edge to edge, soften things up just a touch, but I don't know. I don't know how many people really do it. It's definitely a personal preference type of situation. I know that it could just be for the fact that we don't really talk a ton about being able to do it. You know, it's not something that we're like heavily marketing. You don't really see the snowboard industry telling everybody as a huge marketing feature that they can detune their rails or soften the rails up. It's more just kind of like a personal preference thing that you can do. So that's a good question. I honestly don't really know. I know some of our team guys do, but nothing super drastic. Just a little softening up, just a little bit. What else? Just got here. Did you show the open toe boots at all? Just one molded for open toe? Yeah, here, I'll just show you real quick again. Open toe. Calling it the Co boot. Here's our open toe. Turned out sick. And we've got closed toe Randall. Looks like a mess because all the Velcro is undone and the liner's not in it. Here you go. Closed toe Vandal boot. Turned out so sick. I've got the liner pulled out of it. That's why it looks all crazy. And then the closed toe Pro boot. It's our closed toe lace. Turned out super good. Again, we're crazy proud of how the binding program turned out this year. Can't wait to get it to market. I think you guys are all going to be crazy stoked about it. We're all of our brains over here are completely melted on how excited we are about them. Let's see here. Any plans for a team video in the near future? Yes, it's happening now. Anything independently? Good question. I was in Orlando for 2 weeks recently, just through Surf Expo and stuff, and we had talked about our buddies over at Remote Wake Skates. We talked about working on some fun little wake skate project stuff too. We don't know what yet, but we're talking. But as far as the team video project goes for company, we're working on a final acquisition as we speak, and once we get that to go, it's on. So you'll hear all about it sooner than later. But yeah, we're going to be shooting our catalog here very shortly, and that'll be our official first legit shoot for the team project. We've already kind of been shooting here and there, but it'll be officially on the catalog shoot, at the catalog shoot. What about the super limited Vandal board? We're doing a limited edition version of Randall's board in white. There's nothing really specifically different about the board itself other than it's a special kind of graphic treatment where Randall's main board, it's all a back printed, screen printed graphic, whereas we're using a different material for the top sheet, and we're top printing everything on his limited white version, and it looks unreal. It looks so good. It's like white with red with this little gold situation going on. It looks amazing. Let's see here. There's some funny stuff in here. Love the Velcro. Really digging the Velcro. How do you find the Velcro compared to the lace system for lockdown? That's a good question. It's, again, kind of a personal preference situation. Lace kind of seems to have a little bit more of an overall kind of tightness, whereas the Velcro is kind of more zone related. I like both. Randall specifically wanted to go Velcro because he wanted to get rid of laces. He's sick of laces. He just didn't want to have to deal with laces anymore, just wanted the ease of the Velcro. So there are pros and cons to both, you know. So it just really depends on personal preference and how you like your binding to fit around your foot. Both have amazing benefits. You'll just have to try them on and see what feels better to you. You know, we had a lot of really good feedback at the show when people put their foot in their binding, or put their feet in these bindings at the show. Got a lot of oohs and ahs. We were very pleased with how everybody responded to how the bindings fit. All of them, open toe, closed toe lace. Everybody was pretty stoked. Let's see here. When's the Pro model coming out? Can you explain the urethane compared to urethane? I explained that a little bit earlier, but you know, it's you're going to see different types of sidewalls popping up in this industry here this year especially, and just know that we're using the good stuff, and you know, we're not trying to, you know, cut any corners or spare any expense based off of trying to find or use the less expensive material. We're using the goods, so, and we're doing that for you. We want you guys to get what you're paying for. Oh, Ben's on. But anyways, guys, let's answer a few more questions, and then we'll get back to our business during the day. And if you guys want to hit us up with any other questions, feel free to email us here at info@companywake.com, and you know, we'll be glad to send any photos or specific little tidbits of information to anybody that asks. So we're currently in process of getting all of those assets organized. We studio shot everything a couple weeks ago and getting that all put together, and then we shoot catalog here soon, and you'll start seeing a lot of this stuff popping onto the radar here a lot more here very shortly. Ben, you're funny. You see who you wrote. Let's see here. Nice, man. Well, we're stoked to do this. This is I think this is a really, really, really great way to keep everybody in the loop, and you know, essentially hear from the horse's mouth the scoop on what's going on. I mean, you're right here in the company headquarters here in Utah, and and you can ask us any questions you want, and we'll answer. We appreciate the support out there, and I'm telling you, man, like our line from year 1 to year 2, we were crazy proud of what we were able to make happen in our first year, and going into year 2 though, we've got some amazing people working with us, and I am so excited and proud of how everything turned out, and I just honestly can't wait to get this whole line to market and into your hands, so you guys can all enjoy it and enjoy the hard work that everybody's put into these products. And it's not going to stop. We're already digging into, our next year and the year after. Tav right now is in the room right next to me working on 2011 graphics. Yes. Oh, yes. Pearson, what up? I salute you. Stoked you're on. Thank you for joining us. Are you really getting the smoke from the Cali fires? I thought we were, but it was kind of I was kind of misled to believe that that's what it was. I guess we have fires that are happening and going down up north, about 40 minutes from here. And then today I heard there is a little bit of that creeping in from California as well. So, I don't know. There's fires everywhere right now, which sucks. And there's smoke all over outside. So it's kind of a drag. I feel bad for the people that are having to dip on their homes right now. Not stoked about that. Well, seriously guys, again, all day long, thank you so much for the support. Let's do this more. Let's talk more about all this kind of stuff. And I'm going to be hooking up with Maurice and the crew at the Stoke Meter crew here. And we're going to try to do this a lot more often. I like these little lunchtime shows. They're pretty cool. It's kind of like a quick little blast of information. I don't think, as organized as I wanted to be. I was just barely coming out of like 4 different phone calls and emails and just popped right on, so I hope that didn't come across too scatterbrained, but this is it. This is our lives. This is all we do. This is what we got going on, and again, we're just really excited, man, to make this happen. No way. Mike Tam. Yes. Oh. Dude, Mike, you need to get some sleep. Mike Tan is our distributor in Singapore. He's with us. Nice. Dude. High five, Mike. Soon, Mike. Soon. We're pushing. Alright, guys. Well, I'll answer a couple more here. Being a Southern Cali guy, when can we expect to see from company this year? We've recently appointed a sales rep in the Southern California area, which I think is going to help a lot get us into the Southern California area. Right now, we've been a little soft in that area. There's a lot of competition, so to speak, in that area, and we've tightened things up on our end to be able to slowly move in. So we're excited about that. You'll be able to see us. You'll see us kind of cruising in here sooner than later. That's for sure. What else? High five. All right, guys. Stoked. Thank you, RJ. Very stoked. Alright, guys. Seriously, thank you. And hit us up with any questions. I don't want to blow up Colby's email right now. Yep, I'm going to drop it. Colby, Colby, at companywake.com. He's customer service here, and manages the warehouse as well, and he can get you the scoop on 2010 as well. He'd be glad to get all that information to you. If just hit him up, and you're gold. And Maurice and the Stoke Meter crew, thank you for giving us this platform to talk about the brand and talk about what we got coming down the pipeline. Very appreciated. We hit 199 viewers in the middle of the day. Sick. Alright, let me see here.
Dude, that's...
And in case you didn't know, this is going to be the sickest hat next year.
You got 201, dude.
201. One last quick peek at the bindings. Randall. Vandelboot, open toe.
Where are you watching? Good one. Good.
Closed toe. Alright guys, TTFN. Ta-ta for now. Yes, collabs. We got to get back on that program here soon. Right on, guys. I will see you on the flip side. Bye.